With Big Mo. Oh, man.
Christopher, you ready?
So you're gonna keep boxing? Yeah. You really love this stuff, huh? Jake Paul's total breakdown began the second Anthony Joshua crushed every illusion with one devastating dose of reality. We're talking about the kind of wake-up call that destroys years of carefully built hype in mere moments. Logan Paul watched from ringside as his brother got absolutely obliterated, and the rage didn't just build up slowly, it exploded right there for everyone to see. What happened next was somehow more brutal than the actual knockout. This went way beyond just losing a fight. This was a complete public meltdown, a family crisis unfolding under the biggest spotlight possible. It was the moment that stripped away every layer of the Paul brothers brand while the whole world watched. Every camera angle captured the destruction, and there was absolutely no escape from what everyone witnessed.
Incredible!
Jake Paul being measured up by Joshua for that right hand. Gets clipped again.
This whole thing had been marketed as some kind of groundbreaking, earth-shattering moment that would flip boxing on its head forever. Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua was supposed to be this massive risk, the type of all-or-nothing move that could completely change how we view modern boxing and prove Jake belonged at the top level. But listen to this, once that bell actually sounded and the real action began, it instantly transformed from a calculated risk into something much more devastating. A harsh, impossible-to-ignore wake-up call that caught Jake's entire team completely off guard. Nobody involved had any clue just how catastrophically wrong this was about to go. Not just for Jake getting beaten down in there, but for Logan having to watch it all happen helplessly. Because what played out in front of millions wasn't just another knockout loss you shake off and move past. This was a total public destruction of hype, pride, and family reputation all collapsing at once, happening live while millions of people worldwide sat there absolutely ready to pick apart every piece the moment it all fell down.
I just pissed him off. Then he broke my brother's jaw. Fuck this guy. Broke his jaw, huh? Yeah, he split his jaw.
Here's what everyone missed though. This disaster actually began way before those fighters stepped through the ropes under those arena lights. It started weeks before, with Logan Paul speaking like the result was already locked in, like they were just going through the motions before the celebration party. Through every ringside appearance and every social media post, flooding timelines, Logan hammered the same narrative, relentlessly. Anthony Joshua was washed up, completely overhyped, and ready to be taken out by Jake. He actually claimed Joshua was already losing rounds before they'd even fought, which is completely insane when you really think about it. Terms like career killer kept getting repeated like some kind of promise they were making, not just wishful thinking. Logan wasn't simply playing the supportive brother role for Jake's biggest moment. He was deliberately connecting his own reputation, his entire brand, his personal credibility straight to whatever Jake did inside that ring. This stopped being family loyalty at this point. This became pure ego on display, and everybody watching knew it.
Yeah, it was largely because he was mostly running away from AJ rather than standing toe-to-toe with him to fight. It's the difference between fighting a Bengal tiger and running away from a Bengal.
The promotional machine that the Paul brothers had perfected over the years shifted into maximum overdrive leading up to fight night. Countless millions tuned in for every piece of content, every press conference, every training video, all of it. Meanwhile, boxing experts and seasoned commentators kept hammering home the same crucial point, trying to inject some sense into all the madness. They kept explaining there's a massive, fundamental difference between influencer boxing against other creators or aging athletes versus stepping up against a legitimate professional heavyweight who spent years battling actual world champions at boxing's highest levels. But here's what went down. That critical warning, that experienced voice of reason got completely buried under all the noise and promotion. Logan kept doubling down on his prediction. Jake kept buying into his own hype more and more, and the entire Paul machine just kept getting louder and more convinced right up until the exact second it couldn't continue. The second reality hit like a freight train.
Since he quickly realized fighting AJ was not going to work for him, he naturally began incorporating even more flight, running away, and freezing, falling to the ground at any chance he had, just to survive the rounds.
I mean, all it's doing is buying Jake Paul more time. I don't like it at all.
Do you remember what Mike Tyson famously said? Everyone has a plan until they get punched in the mouth.
Anthony Joshua's gigantic. He's so big. He's so much bigger. So, of course, like, his punch that he knocks Tyron Woodley out cold with, Joshua just eats it.
Yeah.
Because he's a giant.
Yeah, he's a complete monster. Once the actual fighting began and that opening bell rang for real, the massive skill difference became painfully, brutally clear to everyone tuned in. Joshua didn't charge forward trying to prove anything early. He showed zero panic or concern about facing Jake Paul. He simply waited with the patience of the elite professional he's always been. Jake, meanwhile, appeared visibly nervous, awkward in his movement, and completely out of place from the first exchange. When the later rounds arrived, this wasn't about strategy or confidence anymore. This became purely about surviving, about somehow lasting until the final bell. Joshua put Jake on the canvas twice during round 5, and these weren't lucky shots or quick stumbles. These were crushing, punishing knockdowns that drain your spirit along with your legs. Then he repeated it in the 6th round, dropping Jake 2 more times, 4 total knockdowns, spanning just 2 rounds of fighting. At exactly 1 minute 31 seconds into round 6, everything ended. Complete knockout. No room for argument. No angles to dispute. Just this crushing silence where all that confidence used to live. The numbers released later made this look even worse than it appeared live. Jake connected with just 16 punches out of 56 total thrown during the entire bout. Think about that for a second. 16 landed punches. That's not competing at professional boxing's elite level. That's getting completely dominated by someone operating in a different universe. The physical toll Jake endured wasn't just about reputation or image either. Jake actually sustained a fractured jaw in 2 places from the beating he absorbed and required emergency surgery immediately following the fight. This wasn't some competitive battle that happened to end badly in the closing moments. This was a total mismatch that concluded exactly how experienced boxing minds predicted from day one. That's when cameras captured Logan's complete breakdown.
Heavyweights have taken that right hand that only took 1.
I'm just so proud of him. That was incredible. In my view, that was a victory on all fronts.
While Jake was getting helped out of that ring by his corner and medical personnel, Logan absolutely exploded emotionally with everyone watching. All that confidence he'd been showing for weeks disappeared completely, just vanished into nothing. The swagger and big talk crumbled instantly. Fight commentators picked up on the change immediately and started discussing it during the live broadcast. This wasn't typical brotherly concern for someone who got hurt. This was visible rage, complete humiliation, and genuine fear all happening simultaneously. Logan erupted in a way that genuinely surprised viewers, clearly furious beyond control. But here's the revealing part: not angry at Anthony Joshua for dominating the fight, but furious at Jake himself. In that raw, unguarded moment, the cameras it seemed less like a caring brother worried about family safety, and much more like someone suddenly understanding that their entire carefully built public persona, their empire, their credibility, everything they'd constructed had just suffered massive, irreversible damage. His expression told the whole story. He was absolutely terrified about what was coming next.
This YouTuber who's fought Tommy Fury, who's a legit boxer, and, you know, a couple other guys that were legit boxers. That's it. Like everyone else he's fought Ben Askren, who's really a wrestler. You know, he fought Tyron Woodley, who was an elite MMA fighter, but, you know, not an elite boxer.
Public.
The timing in that right hand, just spectacular.
That's stepping in as well.
Over the top. I mean, that was a full force shot to the temple. I mean, he's Fucksville right now.